been a year since I've had a service dog, and I kind of wanted to do a recap video of my life since I've gotten my service dog. First of all, I just want to say thank you to PADS, which is the organization I got my dog from. He has changed my life. I'm so much more confident with him by my side. I have done things in the last year that I kind of written off when I first became disabled. Having him has been life changing. So thank you to PADS and everyone that works for PADS. When I first got word that I was getting a service dog, I was extremely excited and I went through all the steps. So the first step is you fill out a questionnaire that PADS sends to you saying like, okay, who are you? What's your disability? How old are you? What would your life be when you have a service dog? Are you ready for this commitment? And you get an email from someone saying, okay, now we need a medical done, saying that a healthcare professional can sign off saying, yes, okay, you do need a dog. So basically prescribing a service dog. And so once I got that filled out, I sent it in. I got a call saying that, they had a dog ready for me. I have worked the dog field for the last 10 years. So I was super excited to get a service dog. And, I always kind of said that for the last 10 years, I worked for dogs and now a dog's working for me. So it's kind of like a full circle moment. When I got the call saying that they had a dog ready for me, it was still kind of around the COVID time. We had to do our training classes over Zoom. So we did three classes a three classes a week, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I think we did classes for I want to say like an hour and a half each day. And I won't lie, it was hard work. It was just a lot of information all at once and really fast. And at the end of every day, we kind of had a quiz. After I did that, then, I got the dog. Then we were off to Vancouver to do in person training with the other classmates. There was two other people in my class and we all have disabilities and they were first time service dog owners as well. We were all really overwhelmed with the information, but you can tell that we were all really excited. I was in Vancouver for 4 or 5 days, and the last day we did our PAT, which is a public access test, which basically makes sure that he is totally covered for anything that could happen to him once he's in public with me. We ace that, obviously. Free to go. Kind of terrifying. I remember the first day that I had him, I honestly cried because I was just like, what if I break him? Am I good enough for him? I'm not disabled enough. And I think a lot of disabled people have that concern in their head that, oh, are you disabled enough for a service dog? Which I think is complete horseshit. Because what does that even mean? What does that even mean to be disabled enough? I remember calling my sister crying, and I was like, I don't think I deserve him. She kind of talked me off the ledge. And the first 2 weeks of having him, as per the trainer said, is that just stay at home, just bond with him a little bit, don't do a lot. And I had a dog of my own prior. The first 2 weeks that I had my service dog, I actually gave Madden to my parents for 2 weeks just so me and him could really bond, like me and my service dog could really bond. I was also excited to bring him over and like show him off and everything, but I was also really scared because he knew all these cues, but I felt like I didn't know anything because basically they trained this dog for 3 years and then I got training within the span of like a month. It like they do that because they know you can handle it, and like I did handle it. I just think in the moment I was just so overwhelmed. I didn't want to screw him up. I didn't want to confuse him. I didn't want to hurt myself. I didn't want to hurt him. So yeah, for the first 2 weeks we basically just like hung out at home. That was good because I was having a lot of emotions with having him and trying to bond with him. And another thing too is that my husband was gone at the time. This time was literally just me and my service dog. He's a sweetheart and love him dearly, but this is kind of tough to talk about, but this first year has been a lot of ups, but also a lot of downs. And I think a lot of service dog handlers will admit this. It's a really hard thing to bond with your dog because, when you get a pet puppy, you get that dog at 8 weeks. With this dog, I basically just got handed this dog that knows all these tools. I don't want to say I haven't bonded with him yet, but it's been a process and it's I love him and he's so goofy. What's not to love? And, I've watched other service dog handlers kind of confess that too, that it's not very easy bonding with your service dog, and they might be the greatest dog ever, but it's still really hard to bond. Another thing too is that there's a lot of guilt with service dog handlers because you get handed this beautiful, perfect dog. And when they make a mistake, because they're allowed to, because they're not robots, you get frustrated with the dog, and that's not fair because the the dog is just getting to know you. You almost get frustrated with the dog, and then you get frustrated with yourself, and it's just a roller coaster of emotions. That's been probably the hardest part of having him, is that you basically just get handed this like golden ticket dog, and then you are maneuvering over all the obstacles that you used to do alone, but now you have with him, and he's there to help, but you almost don't know how to communicate with him to help you the way that you want help. It's hard, and I hope other service dog handlers understand what I'm saying. In the first year that I've had my service dog, I have traveled to Europe. I've moved different provinces. I've gone out way more than I did before because I had that confidence of having him beside me physically and emotionally too. He has really helped me become myself again. It's been a struggle, and I think I'm still kind of on that road, but I've talked to his puppy raisers and they kind of tell me all his like little quirks, and I'm like, yeah, he still does that. With my Instagram now too, they can see him in action working with me, because I think a lot of puppy raisers don't get to see their puppies out in action because maybe some people don't want to share their lives, which is totally valid as well. In all, it's a learning curve. It's been, I've never had a service dog before. I'm so grateful for him. He is the best thing that has ever happened to me, and he has helped me tremendously, and I'm just so thankful for him, and he loves me so much, and I love him so much too. He is very connected to me, and he's very sensitive. I love his personality. We call him Doofy. He is just so quirky, and he chases his tail around. He jumps off the riverbank as if, Jesus take the wheel. He is just yeeting himself. The zoomies. I am just so thankful for pads, and all the trainers and the volunteers and everyone that works for pads. Thank you. I'm so grateful and privileged to have one of your elite dogs, and he is just so connected to me, and I'm so connected to him, and I'm just so I just love him so much. So that's been a year with him. I can't wait for the next years that I have with him. I hope to do kind of a 1 year or, year recap of him every year, just to kind of see how he's doing. I hope I can look back at this video in a year and say, oh my God, we've changed so much, or, we've done this together. So I hope I have the next 10 years with him working. He loves to work, and I am excited to see what other adventures we're on.